Welcome back to all of you. Let's get started since there has been a lot of discussion and, to be honest, a lot of confusion about AMC closing theaters lately. It is being seen negatively by others, who even claim that it indicates the corporation is having difficulties. However, upon closer inspection, that is not the complete picture. This is what is taking place. The CFO of AMC recently said during an earnings call that the business anticipates closing more theaters than it opens in 2026. People on the internet immediately began responding. Some claim that this demonstrates AMC's decline. Some even assert that AMC's meme stock period is coming to an end. The problem is that the majority of such responses overlook an important detail. AMC is indeed closing its cinemas. That is accurate. However, they're not just closing places at random because they're having problems. In reality, they're acting far more intelligently. The theaters that are losing money are being shut down. Consider it this way. What would you do if you ran a company with several locations and some of them were costing you more than they were bringing in? You wouldn't keep them open for no other reason. You would close them and concentrate on the places that are making money. That's precisely what AMC is doing this year. Roughly 85 theater leases are scheduled to expire, and AMC is using this chance to make things right rather than renewing them all. They are eliminating the underperforming locations and concentrating solely on the successful ones. Additionally, they intend to open new theaters in better locations with greater financial possibilities. Therefore, even if there are fewer theaters overall, the quality of those theaters improves, and that's what counts most. This tactic is also not new. In fact, AMC has been doing this for some time. Additionally, you'll notice something intriguing if you've been keeping up with their financial reports. Their figures have been getting better over time. They've already begun eliminating weak areas and concentrating on stronger ones, which is a major contributing factor. Therefore, it doesn't really make sense when you consider the entire plan when someone says, AMC is closing theaters. That's bad. In actuality, this action may make AMC more profitable and efficient. Let's now stand back and consider the wider picture. The biggest chain of movie theaters in the US, still AMC. It's a really important job to have. Strangely, though, you don't hear that as much. You don't hear statements like AMC is still dominating the theater space or AMC is leading the industry. Instead, as soon as they make a business choice like this, the attention abruptly turns to negativity. Thus, it poses a crucial query. Why? Why do people jump on everything that is even slightly bad while ignoring the strengths? Closing weak points isn't a sign of failure when you look closely. In fact, it's an indication that the business is attempting to grow. Here's yet another crucial section. AMC is not shutting down theaters because they lack the funds to maintain them. They are not being compelled to cease activities. Financial data is used to determine what makes sense and what doesn't. A theater is closed if it isn't doing well. A new opportunity is added if it appears to be profitable. That's just clever business. Additionally, as we previously stated, this strategy has already improved AMC's financial circumstances. Thus, this has a certain track record. Because of this, it's perplexing to witness individuals responding as though this is a catastrophe, if anything. This might actually assist AMC in lowering cash burn, which has been a major problem for the business. They can save expenses and concentrate on expanding in a more controlled manner by eliminating locations that lose money in the future. This approach may also be supported by additional elements. Potential debt restructuring is being discussed, which would reduce financial strain. In the upcoming years, there are also hopes that the box office would do better and generate more income. Therefore, it begins to appear less like a problem and more like a plan when you combine all of this cutting underperforming theaters, concentrating on great ones, and increasing financial efficiency. Again, though, not everyone is discussing it in this manner. Instead, the internet discourse frequently ignores all of this background and leaps to unfavorable conclusions. It's crucial to comprehend what's actually happening rather than just what people are saying on the surface. which is why I chose to start with this subject. AMC is doing more than just closing theaters. They're changing their company. Additionally, it might really put them in a better position going forward. Depending on how this turns out, this is when things start to get pretty fascinating. So let's continue. Behind the scenes, something else has been going on in addition to all the talk regarding theater closures. To be honest, a lot of questions are being raised by it. AMC is returning to about 70% off-exchange trading. Now, let me explain that in plain English for those who are unfamiliar with it. Stock trades that take place outside of the standard public exchanges are referred to as off-exchange trading, often known as dark pool trading. As a result, regular investors are less able to see these moves. They seem differently from typical buy and sell orders. Therefore, the movement of the stock price in the open market may be impacted when a significant portion of trading takes place off exchange. Furthermore, it's unusual to see AMC at that level again right now. The timing is what makes it even more intriguing, because we're witnessing a surge of unfavorable news regarding AMC at the same time that this is taking place. All of a sudden, a lot of pressure is being applied in one way through articles, posts, and opinions. People naturally begin to wonder if this is merely a coincidence, or is there a more significant issue? AMC's share offering is connected to one potential explanation. As you may be aware, AMC has been selling shares to raise funds. Naturally, they would benefit more from being able to sell those shares at a greater price. In this manner, they can raise more capital with fewer shares. However, that procedure becomes more difficult if the stock price declines. Therefore, you start to wonder if part of this pressure is deliberate when you witness an increase in negative sentiment and a significant volume of off-exchange activity. To be clear, this is merely a possibility. It is impossible to state it with complete clarity. However, it is difficult to overlook the timing. Furthermore, we have already witnessed something similar. The role of short sellers should also be taken into account. We previously discussed how some short sellers started their holdings when AMC was in the $2 range. In other words, they are wagering that the price will drop after that. This is the issue for them, though those positions become dangerous if AMC's price begins to rise instead. Really dangerous, because there are margin restrictions associated with short selling. Let's make that simpler. A person must provide collateral or money to support their position in order to short a stock. Additionally, the requirements are higher because AMC is regarded as a very volatile company. As of early 2026, it may take up to 150% of the position's value to short a company like AMC. Therefore, $1.5 million in collateral may be required if someone is shorting $1 million worth of AMC. There's a lot of pressure there, and that pressure intensifies even further if the stock price begins to rise. They may eventually be required to close their position, usually by repurchasing the stock if they are unable to retain that collateral. Additionally, such purchasing may raise the price even further. Let's now relate this to something we witnessed earlier this year. AMC had a few successful days back in mid-January. One day the stock increased by about 13%, and another day it increased by 5%. The $2 level, where many short sellers were positioned, was getting closer, and something intriguing occurred at that precise moment. Trading in dark pools began to increase. It increased from about 60% to 70%, and on a few days, it even reached 80% and 90%. That is a significant leap. Once more, the timing is perfect. More trading activity shifted off exchange. As the price began to approach a level that would harm short sellers, what does that imply then? It implies that there might have been an attempt to regulate or control the public market's price movement, because the price could climb rapidly if there is excessive purchasing pressure on the open exchange, which could present issues for individuals with short positions. Now, The pattern itself is actual whether or not you think it is occurring. The shift is evident in the data. Additionally, it involves more than just trading. Additionally, there are some odd discrepancies between AMC's data on various platforms. For instance, AMC's trading volume may be displayed as roughly 62 million shares on one platform, but just 32 million on another within the same time frame. That is a significant distinction. Additionally, most stocks don't typically exhibit this volume, market capitalization, and outstanding shares are examples of data that are typically quite consistent across platforms. However, it isn't always the case with AMC. This begs the question, why is the data so inconsistent? Some speculate that this might be related to covert trading or synthetic shares. Some believe it's simply a matter of platforms reporting data differently. In any case, it creates an additional degree of ambiguity. High off-exchange activity, a rise in negative sentiment, pressure from short sellers, and conflicting data all come together to produce a very unique situation.